right? Because he knew why he was here. And because he already did it, I'm not sure why everybody else is trying to be a freaking sacrifice. We already had one. Jesus came, he said he died for all of our sins. And everybody's trying to lay themselves out like a drink offering. We already had somebody do it. I'm not sacrificing myself anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm not breaking no generational curses. I'm not interceding for people that I'm not close to and that won't intercede for me, especially those who don't like me. I used to be praying for everybody. You call me, girl, I will pray. Listen, the change comes when I pray. And I think my friends knew that because I was the first person they called about their problems. No. God took my phone away because I was not listening. I wouldn't stop. He was trying to get people what they needed to grow, and I'm stopping it. Remember, we're being accused day and night, and some of those accusations be right, but some people, then what happens? Something comes from it. It's not my fault. It ain't yours. But every time you jump in the business of God, doing things you ain't supposed to do, people are never going to learn. You're stopping things that you should not be stopping. I'm not praying for everybody anymore. Oh, I used to pray for the whole school system. I pray for the whole world and every continent. I'd be praying. Oh my gosh, I had a good 2 to 3 hour prayer list. I still have it. I was praying for everybody. I prayed for all the people in the church, their health and strength, all good things I could think of. I just wanted to be so healthy and wealthy. I was praying, man, people get so many beautiful blessings. Okay, because I was interceding. Not to say I was their only reason, right? That is part of my testimony that I did so much. And so while God had given them their experiences, good or bad, that wasn't me necessarily, right? That was their life. And I can't say that I was responsible for it. We're not responsible for praying for people. We're not responsible for outcomes. God is. They are. A lot of people are making their own choices, and their experiences are coming from their own choices. We can be powerful, but we're not that powerful. Everybody gets to be who they are. He said he made us in his image. So that means we are gods. Demigod, right? I call it demigod. We're not a deity, but we are God. He said he made us in his image. We have the image of the living God. So that means that we are creators. Everything that you see, everything that exists is because of God. This is why Jesus got in trouble, because he really pushed that home, telling everybody that he was a God, because he knew the truth, but they didn't. And that's where we're saying, because even as I speak it, and as I tell somebody in God, they go, oh, you're so prideful, you're not humble. Everybody wants you to be humble. This boy preached say something, he don't learn to be humble. And I'm like, well, he sure wasn't preaching humbly. I don't know, humble before God, not man though. If we are all made in the image of God, there's no reason for me to be humble towards you. A lot of times people trying to humble people, trying to silence people, and they're doing their brainwashing work, and they're being gods on you, and you're allowing it. Because people can't do nothing to you without your permission. If you give people permission to be a God of your life, then you have become the demi. You are not allowed to do that, but you do it. And when you do it, you get all upset because now this person has been a ruler over you, and you aren't supposed to be tethered to that person. But you tethered now because you're asking to pay attention. You let someone else take the seat. And I think that's where humility really gets the best of us. We think we're being humble. We're not being humble, and so we're just letting someone else lead and run everything. We got to be somebody who's good at collaborating, conversation, alignment. So there are some people in your life that the energy just is good. Nobody's arguing, you have a good time. You can share a kitchen, you can share a bathroom, and nobody's losing their mind on each other and feel like, oh, you looked at me too stupid today. Oh, you said this and that bothered me. So every day you having a conversation about something somebody did. But sometimes you have relationships where you just got to align. And if you're aligned, okay, now I get the flow of this person. But if you're constantly in a battle, you're constantly being gaslit, told that you're not good enough by just mere existence. Somebody's constantly telling you that you're not enough, or that you're taking up space bothers them. But you got to know who you are. If you can handle it and you're still dealing with it and you have a high threshold for pain, you'll be in cycles of abuse for a long time. If they don't go away, you just meet new people who are abusive. And you're abusing yourself, so that's why you're attracting abusive people. And you realize you created that while you're upset with the person. It's because you already believe these things about yourself, that you allow it to continue on. But when you know yourself, when you're taking time to just get to know you, like, you know, that doesn't feel good to me, I can't do that. Or I'm not that person, it doesn't align. Like, I can feel it, because we're arguing all the time, I can't do nothing right. You know, it's not that relationships don't have bumps, right? Relationships don't have bumps, don't get me wrong. You actually probably have a lot of bumps. But in a healthy relationship, no one's really losing their mind or heart over things. They're just talking through it. Oh, okay, so now we can do it. And if over time, it still doesn't align, healthy relationships do know how to part without ugly. You know what I'm saying? Without hatred, without malice. Why do you think all that? Only people do that is people who want to control. There's no reason for you to lose it. It's not working. It's not gonna work. Okay, but we can talk about it. Be respectful. I'm not saying that you should just fall off and leave people and let's X them out of our life. Everybody's on the X them out culture. Because yeah, the pain is heavy. But if you have a real true relationship with somebody that has stood the test of time with nuances and connections and collaboration, I think it's always better to talk. You can't just ghost people you had a connection with like that. It's not right. At least have a vibe conversation, right? It's respectful. If you have ties and things you haven't completed, but people are just walking away from out of this, it's just not right. You're not being responsible. So no, nobody wants a non-noble person in their life that would do that. But we gotta go back to the fact that God made some for noble purposes and some for not noble purposes. This is what it is. And there you just gotta know how to move. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people don't get the opportunity. Bad things do happen that are hard and hurtful and challenging, whether it be ending, like true ending in a physical sense or spiritual ending. Endings happen. Deaths and rebirths are occurring all the time. All the time. If you think about precipitation, the way the world works, this specific planet Earth, the rain comes down, it gets the soil all beautiful, you can plant, you can have vegetation, but that rain from the soil, when the sun beams down on it, it goes right back up. It's called evaporation, right? And if you cover it, it's called condensation, when it starts to rise, but it has nowhere else to go, right? But evaporation, it goes back up into the clouds, and eventually the cycle happens again. And then you'll see certain seasons where trees die, there's no seed, but the bigger part of the bark stays, but their leaves are gone. And there's some plants that completely die out, and they just revert when the time comes again. We are that. We think it's just the funerals. In fact, I was telling somebody, I don't even want to be bothered with that kind of, I don't want a funeral like that. And people should be able to have their choice, right? People should be able to have their choice. My mother, I did not want to do a funeral for her. It's not because I didn't love her. It's just because I knew I was going to have to face all these people that I could just tell off. I'm going to be honest with you. because I don't feel they were really there for her. You know what I'm saying? And I could be wrong, because in their own way, they might did what just they could. Because some people have life, not some people have life. Everybody has a life and things they need to do. So what am I to say? They just, they couldn't do it, but I could do it. But that doesn't mean they weren't important to her, that she didn't love them, and she didn't want to be cremated and thrown into an ocean. I want that. She did it. I kept her wishing. I said, well, let's get you some insurance policy in place, even if it's just a final expense, because I'm not paying for it. And I said that to her, and I was not being funny, because if you don't have money in place, you want me to do all this work, and I don't have it. And at the time, she didn't know what my choices were changing in life, that I was going through something very heavy. But, so you never know what people are going through. But I said to her, I said, if you want that, Mom, you got to keep up with your insurance, please. And her health was very bad, but she was lively and bright. I mean, she had a quadruple bypass surgery. She was doing so good. But I believe she died from a broken heart and lack of connection. And so when she moved back home to the cold state, she couldn't really, don't drive. People can't come visit. I'll say can't, because I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Just because they live in the same state don't mean they can always visit. Because listen, at this stage in my life, I have a capacity just for me and my children and maybe 2 or 3 people outside of that, right? And I think there was so much connection before that sometimes that bothers me that I don't have it. I'm like, wait, I couldn't have it. Even if I wanted it, it would take me out if I did the things I used to do. Oh my gosh, I was young. I wish I had put that energy into myself, though, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I did 6 books, but I feel like I could have done so much more if I was focused more on my own life and not helping everybody in their crisis. That's your crisis. You created that shit. Now, once I realized that, people are creating their own crisis. Some people are creating extra crisis. And I'm not saying it was for me specifically, but you could tell that their life was just dramatic, and that's what they wanted, because they weren't really making changes to have anything different. And I was getting involved because they were saying they needed it. And you can't do that for too long without burning out, especially when it's not reciprocated. So when I was in need, there was nobody around. Crickets. And I'm being honest. And maybe I missed it. Maybe somebody said something, maybe offered something. Maybe there were people who did do things that maybe softened my heaviness. And I do remember getting the support from one specific sister who did the painting for my book. And then she purchased all the parts. I just did a little bio. She didn't want nothing for it, but that was love for me. That was support. And I was willing to pay her. But she's like, no, I got it. I would love to do that for you. She passed on later. I didn't know about it, right? I was not in church anymore. And I had disconnected from everybody, so even if they wanted to tell me, I mean, they probably couldn't, because they were always on Facebook. And I might have a message. Who knows? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, we all have our own lives to really live and do things. And thank God for the support. Now, we should have support people, right? Support things, support tools, support people. It could be a phone, it could be an apartment, it could be a person, it could be an intimate partner, it could be a non-intimate partner. Those are supports and those are tools. And a lot of times we abuse those tools and support because we're not used to it, or we just don't know that it is one, right? And when we don't understand the value of it right at this time, and we're evolving and we don't see it till it's gone. I think we've all been there, where all of us feel this connection to something that we love, but we don't really know what it would be like without it, so we do whatever we want with it when we have it. It's kind of like breathing. I stopped to take deep breaths these days because, listen, I feel like I just take breath for granted. Breath is important. You can't even talk long. I can hold my breath long too, so here I am. Not underwater, but in the sky. And it's only because I'm out here and I've not really had training in swimming. I think I'm supposed to swim, right? But somehow I got disconnected from the water. I need to get to it again. But I need to be able to breathe in the water. I need to be able to learn that skill set, because I do believe it's a huge part of my existence that I've ignored. But there are people who have the ability and the capacity to do more than some people. But it's probably because they believe it and they have stretched themselves. It's not because you couldn't. It's just because they've taken the time to see what they needed to see to get what they needed. And they're not willing to share it with everybody, because people abuse things when they learn. You let people in your energy, you tell them too much. And what's the biggest experience that we've all had? If you met a noble character, that's amazing. Thank God. But we don't always know right away. We have a small capacity in that realm to be able to recognize when somebody is noble or not noble. But I do believe, and I'm going to say this with all the love I can possibly muster, because I've read and I used to do, listen to all those little criminal things that people always say, I had this feeling. I had this feeling, but that feeling doesn't always mean something bad that happened sometime. You know what I mean? But that's why it's so hard to know. But that's why you gotta just look at the character of a person. Honestly, you listen to a person, let them talk about things they've done, because that does tell the story. I believe that demons can't really hide. They can't hide. That of ourselves and that of others. They're very, they don't hide well. That's all I'm saying. You can notice it if you need to. Things just don't stay hidden long. So I think just knowing that, you can trust yourself. You can trust yourself to know if this is okay to keep going or not. And you don't need, I think some people feel so good about having a lot of friends, but having too many friends is not always the best thing either. Jesus would separate himself. He had 12 disciples. He knew, and he also said he knew one of them was a deceiver. So he knew it going in, but he knew that person was very significant still. So there are times where you do get in situations like that, and that's not easy. And sometimes you could be accused as one. There could be an accusation against you because of something you did in a way that wasn't respectful, or in a way that didn't feel right to the other person. It didn't align with their views or values, right? Because we're all learning. So sometimes these relationships don't necessarily mean they were demonic or evil, but things about us come out when we're evolving that may not resonate with someone else in the time frame that y'all have met. That happens. Not all the time is it completely evil and they just were sinister the whole time. No. That's why I take time to evaluate, but I think we all learn, and I've had to learn, that not everything that didn't end well is just absolutely demonic, or somebody just had really bad intentions. Sometimes it just really is, we don't really work well together, or we are not aligned. We're in different paths, and then sometimes it's different timelines. Like they're on a path maybe of raising babies, and you traveling. There's no way y'all could be friends. I mean, you could talk here and there, but the closest is not going to be there. That's you can't travel together. Somebody don't have the kind of money you have, or somebody has more money. You can't really do the things that they do, and you can't expect them to take care of all of that all the time, right? It's not fair. You have to be kind of on your own. Everybody has to know how to take care of themselves. Even if you can't physically, you have to take care of your mental. So you can't expect somebody always call you beautiful. I realized this. I said, if I don't call myself beautiful, how the hell do I expect anybody else to call me beautiful? Why would I think? I know I'm beautiful, and I don't even think of it just as an outside thing. I'm more looking at, I have to remind myself, I have shown love, I am love, I walk in love. I walk in love, and I've done that consistently, despite pain, that's who I am consistently. But what I was doing was taking what people were saying about me, that imagine real, heard or unheard. I'm gonna tell you, verbal or nonverbal, when I felt and received those messages, was constantly I want to be an empath. Empaths, let me just say, everybody's an empath. I'm gonna throw in a caveat for a second. We don't need to know what people are thinking all the time. We don't need to absorb people's emotions all the time. We need to learn how to detach more. And they say Aquarius are always detaching. Yes, because we have to learn to detach, because you can't take everything off somebody. I know a person who knows that about themselves too. Somebody who's emotionally aware. I know of someone like that, just very aware of themselves. I love it. My boys are like that. I had to remind my one older son to not do it in a certain area. It was like, yeah, this situation is between me and another person. You getting involved knowing you got a whole life ahead of you. Yeah, this is our responsibility to deal with it. We should not put it on you. But if you're bringing yourself into it, that's different. We got to constantly push you back because you're doing something, saying, stay out of it. Because you can't do anything about what's happened over here. You feel me? Like, you got to know your limits. You're stepping into the wrong territory. This is not your responsibility. But don't we all do that? Sometimes we jump in things that are not. We going all crazy about this. I had a friend, and she had a situation. She had a friend who was living with another friend, and when they matched, she told the person they were living in their in a certain part of their house, and they had to leave. So she was like asking her if she could move in with her. And she had a situation where she had a situation where she had a teen or somebody living with her. And she kind of felt like, was it appropriate? Was it not appropriate? Because they weren't related. I'm just leaving it there because it's not my business. But it was a teen, and it was like an older person, and it was just mixed understanding of what that relationship was. And I said to her, I wouldn't get involved. Like, they already living somewhere. That's unheard of. You just met her. Like, why would you even? Why? Like, I didn't understand for the life of me why she thought just because they asked her for help that she had to. She didn't even know the person, but she had them over doing, and then eventually she moved us in, and I'm like, wow, okay, well, and then I had to realize I couldn't get into her business. I mean, she asked me for advice, I gave it to her, and she still did something totally different. Honestly, it was like, okay, I'm not gonna lose sleep over this. That's gonna be your everything. You're gonna take the whole thing where it all happened. I'm not looking for anything to happen to you, but it seems like a lot, and I'm good. I can't, and I'm not. But people want you to. They want you to get in there. They want you to get involved. They need help with this thing they just jumped into. No, that's not fair. If you did it and you're doing it, that's your situation. If you expect someone else to jump into it, that's not fair at all. It's not fair. You should not expect someone else to jump into something you started to trouble with, knowing it was trouble before it got to you. And now you want me to help you? No, right? You got to know your limits. Just because we're human and we can, just because we're supposed to be loving and we can, just because the Bible says we should love and give and all this stuff, I think there was always supposed to be wisdom attached to it. God said he didn't even start the earth until he had wisdom. He said wisdom was by his side the whole time when he was laying the foundation, when he separated the water from the sky from the water from the earth. Because guess what? There's water in the sky, and it's not just rain. It is literally a whole layer, right? The atmospheric layer. When you go through the different elements, there's different gases. He had to portion it properly. He knew oxygen needed to be closer to it. You couldn't survive in the hydrogen air. You see what I'm saying? So there's certain things that he set up and he did within this planet that if we didn't have wisdom, we wouldn't survive this planet. There's plenty of planets with life on them. Yes, I know. Please, don't question it. Life is on all the planets. It's not like us, but there's life. There's things. There's elements. There's things that can survive those kind of environments. Some of those planets, like Jupiter, are mostly gas, but there's life on the planet. It may not be people or aliens like we know it on TV with big eyes or fingers. It may not be that. It may be something though, but we don't have access to it because it's that volatile. We can't go in there. We are not supposed to go in there. So whatever's happening in there, we don't really know about. We had to send a little camera in there that could handle all of that, and that's how we were able to find out. And that came from regular human beings with very vast knowledge. Why can't we accept those who say, I want to see what else is out there, but then somebody's gay, you lose your mind. Somebody getting a divorce and they wrong, and just mind our business. Oh yes, I really think that's the best way to be, because then you can start exploring and inventing and creating. That's why God sent us here. He wants us to create. He wants us to invent. He wants us to be vast. He wants us to be abundant. He wants more for us. He created us for noble purpose.